All right, buckle up, everyone, because today on the deep dive, we're tackling a pretty pivotal moment in international relations,
Yeah.
the Modi-Trump summit. Now, imagine
Say
you're,
one.
yeah, a big one for sure.
Right.
Imagine you're like prepping for a super important briefing, right? You need to know the key takeaways from this meeting.
Yes. Immediately.
Immediately, yeah, yesterday.
Fast.
Fast. Well, you've come to the right place because
We've got you.
we've got like a whole stack
Okay, stuff.
of expert analyses and reports.
Insider scoops.
Yeah, even some insider scoops ready to go.
This summit had major implications.
Oh, yeah.
For sure, touching on everything from like global trade to defense and even the ongoing conflict in Ukraine.
Yeah, and we're going to extract all those insightful nuggets for you.
That's right.
Okay, speaking of nuggets, one thing that jumped out at me from these reports was the acronym MEGA.
MEGA, though.
Make India Great Again.
Make India great again. Is that what I think it is?
Yeah, what is going on there?
You're reading that right.
Okay.
It seems to be, kind of a deliberate echo of President Trump's Make America Great Again slogan, but it's more than just, clever wordplay.
Right.
It actually reflects a shared vision between Modi and Trump,
Interesting.
aligning Modi's Viksit Bharat, a developed India, with Trump's America First agenda.
So a potential for strong collaboration then.
At least in theory, right.
Okay, well, beyond the slogans and photo ops, what concrete outcomes actually came from this meeting? I was pretty struck by the goal of doubling bilateral trade to $500 billion.
Yeah.
Is that even achievable?
It's a bold target for sure.
Yeah.
While, the current trade relationship between the U.S. and India is strong,
Right.
hitting $500 billion would require a massive, massive expansion.
Yeah.
Areas like energy, defense, and technology, those hold the most potential, but
Right.
it's not going to be easy.
I can imagine.
You've got to think about the existing trade barriers,
Right.
political sensitivities, and the unpredictable nature.
The global economy in general.
Global economy, yeah. All of these factors could throw a wrench in the works.
For sure. Speaking of defense, there was a lot of buzz around the potential sale of F-35 fighter jets to India. Seems like kind of a major development.
Yeah, it's major.
Can you break down why this deal is so significant?
You're absolutely right to highlight this.
Okay.
The United States is incredibly selective about who they sell these advanced stealth fighters to. It's not just about the technology itself.
Right.
It's a signal of a deep
Strategic partnership.
By granting India access to the F-35,
Right.
the U.S. is placing them in a very exclusive club.
Oh, wow.
Alongside NATO allies, Israel and Japan.
So this really is a big deal then.
It is.
Makes you wonder how this will affect India's relationships with other countries. Yeah. Especially given the current conflict between Russia and Ukraine.
That's a crucial point to consider.
Yeah.
India is trying to navigate a very complex geopolitical landscape.
For sure.
While PM Modi has called for a peaceful resolution to the conflict and engaged in dialogue with both Russia and Ukraine, he's explicitly rejected being labeled as neutral.
Oh, interesting.
So they're threading the needle.
They're threading the needle diplomatically.
Diplomatically.
All right, let's talk about something that sounds almost futuristic.
Okay.
The IM trade route.
Yeah.
India to the Middle East, Europe, and then all the way to the U.S.
Wow.
This sounds epic, but logistically.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Mind-boggling.
It's a massive undertaking for sure.
Yeah.
The IM, or India, Middle East, Europe Economic Corridor, aims to revolutionize global trade by creating this network of infrastructure projects that link these key regions.
Wow.
Imagine just like a seamless flow of goods, services, and energy.
Yeah.
Connecting these economic powerhouses, the potential benefits are enormous.
That's incredible to think about.
It is.
But you said it's a massive undertaking. What are some of the specific challenges involved in bringing a project like this to life?
Well, I mean, where do we even begin? Coordinating regulations across so many countries.
Yeah.
Securing funding on a massive scale.
Yeah.
And navigating the potential environmental and social impacts. I mean, it's a truly gargantuan task.
Yeah.
This is a project that will take decades to realize.
Right.
And even then, there's no guarantee of success.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's easy to get caught up in the excitement of a grand vision.
For sure.
But the practical realities are often much more complex.
Yeah.
So, taking a step back, what's the bigger picture here? What does this summit tell us about the evolving relationship between India and the United States?
It's clear that this relationship is deepening and becoming more strategic. Both countries see each other as key partners in navigating the challenges of, like a multipolar world.
Right.
They're looking to cooperate on everything from economic growth to security concerns, and the potential for synergy is significant.
It's interesting that you mentioned a multipolar world because it seems like a lot of the analysis around this summit focuses on the implications for China.
Yeah.
How do you see this closer U.S.-India relationship playing out in the context of rising tensions with China?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
Yeah.
Some analysts see this partnership as a deliberate move by the U.S. To counter China's growing influence, particularly in the Indo-Pacific region.
Right.
But it's not quite that simple.
Right.
India is very careful to avoid being seen as taking sides.
Okay.
They're pursuing their own strategic interests, and that means maintaining relationships with both superpowers.
So it's a delicate balancing act for sure.
It is.
And it's not just about geopolitics, is it?
No.
India is a rising economic powerhouse.
Huge.
And its decisions will have ripple effects throughout the global economy.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
India's growing middle class, its burgeoning tech sector.
Yeah.
Its increasingly vital role in global supply chains, all of these factors make it a key player on the world stage. This summit is a clear signal that India is asserting itself, seeking to forge its own path and shape the future of the global economic order.
This brings us back to the F-35 deal.
Okay.
Can you delve a bit deeper into the long-term implications of this for India's military capabilities?
Well, the F-35 is a fifth-generation fighter jet.
Right.
It's packed with cutting-edge technology that gives India a significant edge in terms of air superiority and strategic deterrence.
Okay.
It also enhances their ability to operate alongside the U.S. and other allies who fly the F-35,
right,
fostering closer military cooperation.
So it's not just about the hardware itself.
Yeah.
It's about the strategic partnerships and capabilities that come with it.
Precisely.
Yeah.
It's a clear message to the world that India is committed to modernizing its military and playing a more assertive role in regional security.
Okay.
But as with any major arms deal, there are potential downsides to consider.
What are some of those potential drawbacks?
Well, for one, the F-35 is notoriously expensive and complex to maintain.
Yeah.
Some critics worry that this purchase could strain India's defense budget, potentially diverting resources from other important priorities.
That's a valid concern. Are there any geopolitical risks associated with India acquiring such advanced weaponry?
Of course, some countries in the region might view India's acquisition of the F-35 as a threatening move, potentially leading to increased tensions and an arms race.
Yeah.
It's a powerful piece of technology, and it needs to be handled responsibly and strategically.
So we've covered a lot of ground here. Trade deals, fighter jets, a new global trade route, and the delicate dance of international relations.
A lot.
It feels like we've only just begun to scratch the surface of this summit's true significance.
Yeah, it really is a complex web of interconnected issues.
For sure.
For our listeners who might be feeling a bit overwhelmed.
What are the key takeaways they should really remember from this summit?
You're right. It's a lot to digest. I'd say there are three big things to keep in mind.
Okay.
First, the U.S.-India relationship.
Yeah.
It's evolving rapidly and becoming more strategic in nature. They are increasingly aligned on key issues and see each other as essential partners.
Okay, so that's one.
Second, India is aiming for a more prominent role on the global stage, both economically and militarily.
Right.
This summit was a clear signal that India is ready to assert itself and shape the future global order. And third, the implications of this summit extend far beyond just these two countries.
Right.
The agreements made, the partnerships forged, and the signals sent will have ripple effects on global trade, regional security, and even the balance of power in the Indo-Pacific.
It's fascinating to see how these events are shaping the global landscape.
Yeah.
For those who want to dive deeper, where would you suggest they start?
I'd recommend taking a closer look at the specifics of the trade deals.
Okay.
Being discussed, what are the potential benefits and challenges for both countries? Also, keep an eye on developments with the IMS project.
Right.
It's a long-term endeavor.
For sure.
But progress will be fascinating to watch.
That's great advice. And I'd add that it's important to consider the perspectives of other key players in the region.
Yeah.